Does Morine see a shifting timelines or a solar flare? I'm curious if we will see chemtrails will just disappear one day, or will it be a 50-year process of the global elite slowly losing their grip? Thanks, Alex.
Okay, thank you, Tricia. The last question, they don't have 50 years. They don't have 10 years, okay? Um, I would say they have less than 5. At least based on what I know at the moment, 5 is the ultimate max amount of time they have. Um, Even if it's that long. Now, as far as the chemtrails, my understanding is that we're already getting help with that. And in some parts of the world, there no longer are chemtrails. But I do hear periodically where there are still chemtrails being used in certain parts of the planet. I'm not there, so I don't know for sure. Now, as far as a timeline for a solar flare, the sun is going into a solar minimum. So solar flares are supposed to be extremely rare. Now, if there's an outside influence that enters the solar system and triggers the sun, aka Hercopolis, that would be a completely different scenario. Now, I've heard it spoken that a solar flare is supposed to hit the planet and do something to our DNA. I have absolutely no knowledge of whether that's true or not. It has always been implied in my conversations with Mornay and Faseus that it wouldn't be instantaneous because most people's psychology simply wouldn't be able to deal with it. That for some it would be much quicker, and then well, it's obviously already happening to a lot of people that are waking up. Okay, their frequency is rising, their DNA is vibrating at a higher rate. They are totally responding to the human resonance, and with every jump, we adapt. Okay, that spreads out and lengthens our ability to hold higher frequency. And that's key here, especially in physical form, is to be able to expand and hold that higher frequency. And then there are others who are coming up behind it. It's going to be in stages. Now, we may not be talking 50, 100 years for that to happen. If the galaxies are synchronizing because of a new frequency, that also means our galaxy is stabilizing and synchronizing itself with the frequency. So that affects us as well. So it's already occurring, the change in frequency. Do I think the sun is going to do something like that? I simply do not know. There has been talk in the past with Mornay and Faseus when we talked about the Nibiru system coming through, that as it went over the sun, the two interact with each other. And what you don't want to do is be in between those two, like Mars was once upon a time. You don't want to be in between those two because the plasma lightning that's created by the positive and the negative is profound. Okay? And you don't want to be in the middle of that, which is why the delay tactic, so we would be on the other side of the sun. I would think if there was any threat to humanity by an explosion of a solar ray or a solar flare that, of course, would take out all of our technology, that they would probably put one or two motherships there to bounce it back or to bounce it up or bounce it below us so that we would not take a direct hit. It's very easy to do, and it's logical if they're here trying to help us evolve and to get to the next level, that that's exactly what they would do. They would just park a couple of ships and they would use their fields and deflect the flare up or down or around us. Sort of a no-brainer, actually. And it's certainly something that I would do. I'm not worried about that at all. The only real genuine concern I have is whether humanity truly wants to be free. You know, are people absolutely ready to be self-reliant and self-aware, to take responsibility for themselves without being coerced by some higher authority? That is genuinely my only concern at this point. Will they do it? Because the ultimate goal for any civilization is to become a civilization of leaders. That doesn't mean you don't help, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't maybe do dirty jobs. It's whatever contribution you have, but you're equal in all ways. It's just where we each find ourselves wanting to help humanity. We all have strengths. We all have weaknesses. The idea is to use your strengths to assist and help humanity as you learn to strengthen your weaknesses. So that at some point you don't really have any weaknesses. You are a holistic human being. You know, that's ultimately the goal. That's a good question. Thank you so much for that.